it's Elise here at Bowman Library with a whole new teen book spotlight. So for this week, we are entering week 5 of our 2022 summer reading program, Oceans of Possibilities. So that means we have a whole new theme for this week, a whole new badge, whole new set of activities. And this week, we are all about the possibilities of new places. This week, we are exploring books that take place in settings other than here in the United States, even on Earth. We have a mixture of books that take place in outer space, in other countries, on the sea, even in a boarding school, because that's different than here. It's a new place. So because of all these different settings, we have this kind of mishmash of different types of books today that we're going to take a look at. So we have 6 that we are going to share and learn about. So let's get started. Our first one is Mirage. So this is the first in a series. As she is celebrating her 18th birthday, Amani finds herself being forcibly captured by these Imperial droids. And they've taken her to what's called the Mother Planet, named Amdala, where this is where all the royalty lives. Now, the Vath Kits are incredibly cruel, and they are hated by almost anyone. This is the royal family that lives on this planet. Amani soon finds out, though, that she was captured because she looks uncannily like the Princess Miriam. And she's then expected to become this body double for the princess for public events because she's expendable. If someone's going to try to kill the princess, they're really going to be killing Amani, and it's really no loss to them. It's just a body double for the princess. Trying to do what she needs to in order to get her family back, because here's the other thing. If she doesn't do this, she's gonna lose her family. They're in super trouble. Amani decides that she's gonna do what she needs to, but she finds herself in 2 positions. There's one that she's starting to fall in love with Miriam's fiance, and 2, she's being asked by the leader of this rebellion that's taking place underground. She's being asked by this leader to use her newfound position to their advantage. Again, this is the first in a series. Amani just wants to go home. This wasn't ever the plan. This wasn't ever the intention. But she finds herself having to make these life-altering decisions that could not only change her life, but also the kingdom as a whole. This is Mirage. Star-Crossed. So when Patrissa's father dies, she's left this penniless orphan. She decides that she's going to take matters into her own hands, and all of a sudden that means she's going to have to leave London, go to Barbados where her family owns a plantation, and she's going to have to stake her rightful claim in this plantation. That's going to be easier said than done, especially that it's 1760s and she's a woman all by herself. She's not supposed to be traveling, none of this. So what does she decide to do? She decides she's going to stow away on board a ship that's going to be leaving London to go to Barbados. And not only is she going to stow away on the ship because she's a woman, that's not allowed, she's going to have to dress up like a man, and she's going to have to hide and also pretend to be a man on board this ship, making this journey across the Atlantic Ocean. She is soon discovered, but when she is discovered, she does find a place on board being the assistant to the ship's doctor because he sees the value she has. She has skills in being a nurse. You will find yourself along with Patricia as her story is told in 3 parts. And I will let you know, you think you know where this story is going. I think, I gave this description, you think you know where this is going. I will tell you this, it is not. This story gets way more complicated than what you think it's going to be. This sea adventure goes against so many of the stereotypes we have for books like this. Girl dresses up like a boy, gets on board a ship, she falls in love with someone, they find out she's a woman, everything ends well. This is not one of those types of stories. It will open your eyes to the time what it was like to live in the 1760s, especially as a female, and will also give you some insights into sea training at that time. This is Star-Crossed. Defy the Stars. So Naomi Fidel is a fighter pilot for the planet of Genesis. The people of Earth have destroyed all of their resources, and now they are looking for a new home, and they have set their eyes on Genesis. While on a training run, though, Naomi and some other pilots find themselves caught in a surprise attack from some of Earth's humanoid robots. So Earth has robots flying these ships. They find themselves caught up in this surprise attack. And then Naomi soon finds herself in an abandoned Earth worship from a battle that happened 30 years prior to current day in our story. It is there that she meets Abel. Abel is a robot whose intelligence has evolved while in this ship the whole time. So he's been there for 30 years, evolving. Deciding to use him to help Genesis protect themselves against Earth from coming attacks, Naomi finds herself with more questions than what she has answers to, especially as their journey together progresses. Now, this is told through both Naomi and Abel's points of view. This is not just a science fiction book, but it also tackles concepts and questions and topics of artificial intelligence and ethics of war. It is the first in a completed trilogy, so if you like your science fiction with some deep thoughts, you have to come on one side or the other, definitely check out Defy the Stars. In the Shadow of the Sun. So in 1661, an English princess, Henriette, is set to marry Philippe. He is the younger brother of the current King of France, King Louis XIV, but her life is a little more complicated than just that. At this time, there are two types of people that, some of them have this ability, others don't. You have a source and you have a magician, and Henriette is a source. A source is an individual who can possess magic, but it can only be used when it's paired with another person who is a magician, okay? So she can have this magic in her, but it can't be used until she partners up with a magician. When they go to France, she gets married. No one can know what Henriette truly is, though. No one can know that she's a source, especially since throughout the French countryside, there's been some attacks that have been happening, and someone or something is killing off as many of these sources as they can find. It is there when she's at court. She's trying to keep this secret about herself. She's trying to make everyone happy. She's putting up with her new husband's other relationships because he's having them, not just with her. Plus, he doesn't really show her that much attention. She's kind of left to her own devices in this strange new place. It is then that she discovers that the king is actually a magician. And when he finds out that Henriette is a source, he approaches her with a proposition that she does not know whether or not she should take. And she finds herself in this really tough place because he's the king, but she also has to protect herself. Plus, she doesn't know if she wants to do what he's asking of her. This historical fantasy story is one that will keep you guessing and in suspense as you go through this decision-making process with Henriette, as well as how much does she put her life on the line. This is In the Shadow of the Sun. Again. So Adelaide Buchwald finds herself in the summer between her junior and her senior year of high school. And her junior year was a disaster. It is one that she wants to forget. And it ends with her being on academic probation, breaking up with her boyfriend, and then she's being separated from her mother and her brother, while her brother's dealing with some pretty serious addiction issues. So she kind of just wants to move on from all that. When she meets a cute guy named Jack at the dog park, though, the story splits into two different worlds, where you as the reader get to see the progression and the outcomes based on different choices and scenarios Adelaide finds herself making throughout her story. More than just your typical romance, this is filled with family and trying to figure out what one really wants in life. Plus, the decisions that we make do have impacts on others and other aspects of our lives. If you like a good realistic book, complete with an intricate plot, I will tell you, it can get a little complicated. This one will not disappoint. Totally different if you love Her We Were Liars, if you love The Genuine Fraud, that's also by the same author, E. Lockhart. Completely different though, this is again and again. And our last one is The Red Palace. So it's 18th century Korea, and 18-year-old Hyeon is a nurse in the palace, which is a super coveted position, by the way. But some strange and mysterious things start happening. And they kind of start going and keeping on, and it kind of culminates in this murder of 4 palace nurses. This massacre happens, and they are all discovered murdered. Now, the Crown Prince has been accused of these murders, but when it's discovered that Hyeon's mentor is the one that's spreading this information, the police decide they're going to go after her for misinformation, because there's no way that the Crown Prince could be involved in this. Hyeon decides that she needs to clear her mentor's name, whether that means finding out, proving that she's not spreading these rumors, or in fact, that the Crown Prince is involved in these crimes. So she decides that she needs to do this, and she finds herself paired up with Seo. And Seo's a new police inspector, brand new on the force, and he wants to try to solve this case without getting any politics involved. But she doesn't know whether or not she can trust him, because she doesn't really know what his background is, what his angle is. And before she knows it, Hyeon finds herself wrapped up in all of the palace intrigue, and she may be next on the victim list. This historical mystery is one that you will not be able to put down. It's filled with a strong female character and does not disappoint. This author, June Her, is one of my new favorite authors. So good, highly recommend it. This is The Red Palace. So these are just 6 of the books that we have here at the library that will take us to new places, help us explore, because that's the amazing thing with books. Without leaving our couch, we can find ourselves in a completely new, different place, whether it's real or imagined. It's amazing. So, here's the deal. It is summer reading. If you watch enough of these, you know the spiel. You got to the end of our video. This is activity number 1 that you can submit for our Possibilities of New Places badge. Read one of these books or a book like it. That counts as another activity. Sign on to Beanstack. Make sure you're logging, tracking your reading to earn those prizes and those virtual tickets for more prizes. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to come on out to the library. Totally help you. I hope you tune back next week. We have a brand new week, brand new badge for our summer reading program, and I hope you have an amazing week.